welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Green. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Andy Osho and Russell Howard, and Andrew Maxwell, Hugh Dennis and Stuart Francis. We start as ever with our round called Headliners. Here's a picture of former Prime Minister Tony Blair recently, but what does BGBC stand for?
Is it Britain's greatest bullshitter celebrates?
Is it in fact Blair's guilt-free, blood-stained conscience?
That was a lovely laugh.
Is he just suggesting what he thinks the next stage in the world should be, the next thing that should happen? Is it bomb Germany, bomb China?
Is it? That would have been an amazing turn in the inquiry. If you just randomly picked countries and went, yeah, if I was still in power, oh yeah, you'd be gone.
Hey, gang, is it Blair, Great Britain's catastrophe? Oh, I'll
Is
go
it just
there.
a description of him? Is it like balder, greyer, besotted by cash?
Is it Blair given blue cordon? You see in the picture.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It irritates me.
Is it in fact everything the British Army didn't have when we went to war? Bullets, guns, bombs, choppers.
Is it Bush's grinning bum chum?
Would somebody give me the answer?
Blair grilled by Chilcot.
Very good, well done, Andy. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Blair grilled by Chilcot. This is Tony Blair's much-anticipated appearance before the Chilcot inquiry to give his account of the run-up to the Iraq War. Blair spent 6 hours testifying in front of the panel and declared that he had no regrets about ousting Saddam Hussein. Is grill the right word?
Well, not really. It says a lot about the government inquiry that Fern Britain got more out of him than they did. It's unbelievable, though, isn't it? You know, you have a government inquiry trying to make him tell the truth about the war, and he didn't. And Fern Britain went, oh, come on. He went, yeah, all right, I've done it. What we should do is get Alan Titchmarsh, just nice him. Come on, Pickle, did Saddam have the bombs? I did it, Alan, I did it.
Basically, the trouble was that the only lawyer present, the only one trained in cross-examination, was the one who was, in fact, being interviewed.
Yes.
You know, they looked at the committee and they were so useless, they thought, should have got rid of the oldest one and just brought in Alicia Dixon instead.
They weren't trying to get the truth out of Blair. They were not trying to find out who lied. The whole point of the committee is to find out if any lessons can be learned about the invasion of Iraq. So it's going to be a very short report. Don't.
I think what's really difficult for us to swallow is that he appears to have been swayed by Bush. It's incredible because Bush wrote him letters. Imagine those letters. Dear Tony, here is a picture of a horse. And yet that's who you went with. That's the thing's incredible, you know?
Blair actually got heckled.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's a bit harder for politicians because they can't deal with heckling in much the same way. Yeah. Blair couldn't very well turn round and go, going in was the right thing to do, as I said to your mum last night.
So the main claim, the main reason we went to war was this 45-minute claim. That's what swayed everyone.
Yeah.
And you know what has come out recently is that 45-minute claim. Do you know where the intelligence came from for that? It came from an Iraqi minicab driver. Unbelievable, isn't it? Why would you take intelligence from an Iraqi minicab driver? It's on timing. Why would you take advice from a minicab driver on time? When will the missiles arrive? Well, 45 minutes. About then.
We're still waiting for the missiles. They're just coming around the corner now.
But when he was at university, he was actually part of a band which was called Ugly Rumours. And in fact, 30 years later, it was Ugly Rumours that led us to war. If only back at university the band had been called Leave It Lads, he's probably bluffing.
Why is Blair in the money at the moment?
He has a fragrance.
He does. He has a fragrance.
He has a fragrance out that is called Denial.
In other news, whose gagging order was overturned this week?
Oh, this is the story of the week. John Terry. And
John Terry.
But it's such hilarious. Oh, excellent.
Watch his teammates spitting on him. You bastard.
This is the news that the High Court has overturned a super injunction preventing England captain Terry from being named in a sex scandal. Terry's alleged to have had an affair with an ex-girlfriend of former Chelsea teammate Wayne Bridge.
It's such a non-story, isn't it? Oh, footballers shagging around. Just like finding out, oh, the BNP don't like Dizzy Rascal. You know? It's such a non-story. And people go, oh, do you reckon the fans will forgive him? As if football fans care. All they do is sing. That's all football fans do. They're like an Asbo choir.
Yeah, and John Terry's going to have to apologise to Capello as well for what he's done. But I think, well, why is he apologising to Capello? He's Italian. He's going to expect this behaviour. Back in his country, he'd get made Prime Minister or something.
I did notice, though, that Man City players actually had a shirt on underneath which said Team Bridge.
Yeah, that's true.
And I wasn't quite sure what they were actually trying to say with that. Whether they were trying to show solidarity with Wayne Bridge or whether they were all trying to say, yes, we've shagged her as well.
I feel sorry for his parents. When his mom read the headlines in the paper she stole, she immediately... Yeah, thank you. She immediately phoned her husband on his mobile, the family mobile, not the one he uses for the drug deals, and said, where have we gone wrong with this one?
There is, I mean, people wondering what the implications of this were. Obviously, Terry is both the captain of England and also the captain of Chelsea, who, as we know, are the FA Cup holders. Thank you. But he was going on about, you know, one of the reasons that the super injunction was overturned because it wasn't for the grounds of privacy, it's because of his sponsorship. Yeah. Terry doesn't actually get that many sponsorships. Yeah. People don't actually align themselves to John Terry anyway. There are no John Terry aftershaves because they'd be called the salty tears of John Terry or concussion by John Terry, yes.
What's funny, people say, how could he cheat on his wife? And you go, well, the girl was a French underwear model, which are possibly like the three most erotic words to hear as a man. French underwear model. That's like saying to a dog, walkies, din-dins, belly rub.
Terry was described, wasn't he, as a serial womaniser, brawler and drinker. And you're thinking, surely then, he's perfect to represent England.
But there is, again, surely there's something wrong with the fact that the papers in this country, every time England is about to compete in a major tournament and has any chance, scupper it by trying to screw over the team. Surely that's the thing.
But maybe he'd actually be quite good as captain, wouldn't he? You know, still there. Because you know, that's the whole idea, isn't it? If you're captain, you're supposed to be able to bollock members of your team. Terry can still be captain. You make that mistake again, I'll shag your missus.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Andy and Andy. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the royal family.
Well, how are you doing? How are you doing? Well, what can I tell you? Well, the Democrats had a choice between a woman and a black man, and they went for the black man. Can you believe it? Well, I can't really believe that was the choice. Yes, well, how charming. Does anybody know who that was? Was that Judith Chalmers? Bloody dreadful woman. Oh, hello, darling. Eyebrows still black, I see. When they go white, we'll know we're all in the shit. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God.
Oh, terribly sorry, I dropped my Oyster card. Anyway, can't wait, I've got to see the Queen, I think.
Hello, are you a giant?
Oh, God, I hate these things. Oh, God. So tedious. I'd much rather be doing something else, like shooting someone or... Oh, hang on. No, wait a minute. This is the guy I'm waiting for. I'm absolutely starving. I'll have 2 lamb sanders and a better iron. Then hurry up about it.
Philip, please, that is the President of India.
Yes, that's the restaurant we always go to.
These are the leaders of the free world. Please try not to say anything offensive.
Oh, I never do. What do you mean? Oh, my God, there are thousands of them. It's like bloody Dover. You can't come here. We haven't got any room. We're a tiny country. What are you thinking of? Go... Oh, hello. Are you Korean? Yes. I love your culture. Yes. Don't worry, I've locked up the corgis.
Well done, Hugh. Now, we play a round called Who Will Be the Sheriff of Mockingham? This game involves Andrew, Andy, Russell and Stuart, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here I go. The first topic, please. The first subject is nationality. Who wants to come in on that? Andrew Max.
Listen, your national identity starts where you grow up. I grew up in a place called Ireland. Thank you. It's a good place for comedy, people. Sometimes in Ireland, you don't even have to write jokes. It is just in the newspaper. Last year, an orangutan escaped from Dublin Zoo. And in the newspaper, and I quote, his zookeeper said, "We believe he was planning it for years." They reverse engineered his crime, and they found out over the last 15 years he'd been cultivating a tree to grow against the wall of his enclosure. What the hell kind of monkey Shawshank Redemption is that? Do we have any English people here? Welcome, English people. My son's English. That's how he talks. Hello, Dad. Do you want to trade Pokemon cards, Dad? Do you know how strangely baffling and oddly disappointing it is for an Irishman to have found out that he's accidentally made Englishmen? Seems to be set on Saxon.
Thank you very much, Andrew Maxwell. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is family. Who wants to come in on that?
OK.
Andy.
OK, so I grew up in a Nigerian household, and I don't know if you know, but there's a lot of strong discipline in a Nigerian household. I think the best example of Nigerian discipline I heard recently on the local bus. And there was a woman on the bus, I believe her name was Auntie, and she had a little daughter with her, and the daughter was about 4 or 5 years old. She was messing around, and she wanted her to stop. But this is what she said. Nigerians, you see, they take discipline too far. She wanted the girl to stop, so this is what she said. She said, "OK, do you want me to go to jail?" And the little girl, to be fair to her, she said, "Yes." But the woman's reply was brilliant. She said, "OK, so when we get home, I'm going to kill you. Then you will not have to see me again." The white people on the bus kind of looked like this section over here. They were kind of like, "That's funny, but we're going to report that shit." The black people on the bus were like, "Very good, that's it. That's why this country's going down the toilet, you see?"
Thank you very much, Andy. OK, that leaves Russell and Stuart. The next topic, please. OK, it's work. Who wants to come in on that? Away you go, Stuart.
I don't think I got the job at Microsoft. They haven't responded to my telegram. I used to be a mime. It's only now I can talk about it. I was a trapeze artist, but I was let go. I was a trampoline salesman, off and on. I made clown shoes, which was no small feat. I quit my job as a taxidermist for doing a half-assed job. Surprisingly, as an accountant, I was fired after only... half an hour. I quit my job at the helium gas factory. I refuse to be spoken to in that tone.
OK, Russell, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And it's shopping.
The lady at the back whooping there, just looking at a basket. My favourite place to go shopping, without doubt, though, I love budget shops like Aldi and Lidl. I love them. My mum gets so excited. 1p for beans! 1p for beans! There's a reason they're 1p. Have you ever seen inside? There's no tomato sauce. They're just swimming in their own tears. Help me! They're not supermarkets. They're shelters for abused food. Broken biscuits. I was in a hobnob war. Reformed ham. What's reformed ham? I will never commit a crime again. Manager special, manager special. You're telling me he's licking the trolleys?
In that round, the points go to Andy and Russell. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Andy, which category would you like?
Science, please.
OK, your category is science. The answer is 2035. What is the question?
Is it the number of Premiership footballers' kids who look like John Terry?
Is it, if global warming continues, when will all ginger people melt?
Is it in fact how many people at home are now petrified because that is in fact their PIN code?
Particularly because now my eyes are following them around the room. Yeah, there's nowhere you can go. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Yeah, looking at you. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, gotcha.
Is it when will Dara O'Brien succumb to my advances?
Is it? Is it the number of times that Madonna's tried to adopt me?
Is it the year that this episode of this TV show will stop being shown on Dave?
It's going to go much longer than you.
Is it? When do experts think that Dappy from N-Dubs will be able to read? Have you seen it? Have you seen what he looks like? He looks like an Asbo Noddy.
Can we move it? No, I'm going to move it to a correct answer.
Is it in what year have the IPCC predicted that all the ice would disappear from the glaciers in the Himalayas?
That's exactly right. Well done, Pete. Thank you very much. The question I was looking for, by what year did the UN's climate science panel wrongly assert that the Himalayan glaciers would disappear? This is a story that the UN's climate panel, the IPCC, ignored warnings by leading scientists not to publish false claims that the Himalayan glaciers would melt by 2035. So this is a false claim that they made, which was a stupid thing to do. Where did they get their information?
You know what they based it on? They based it on a dissertation from a geography graduate. They based it on an article in the climbing magazine and a chat with an Iraqi taxi driver.
Essentially, yes. It was from a climbing... and it was from a climbing magazine. Do you know what the climbing magazine was called?
Rocks.
Glacier climbing.
Climb rocks.
It's not climbing, you're not far off.
Eat my rocks, Yeti.
Is it just called climbing?
It was called climbing, yeah. It was called climbing. Yes, it was an article in Climbing magazine and a geography student, which does make it seem like a 14-year-old learning off the names of rivers.
Excuse me, I was a geography student and I did a dissertation.
Did you do a dissertation? Did it get picked up by the UN at some stage?
No, I did a dissertation on this. I did it on the spatial distribution of elementary education in 19th century Wakefield. And it won...
Wow.
It won that year's award for the world's most tedious dissertation.
I've got a really tasteless joke about carbon emissions. Start the car. That's it.
I
What surprising figure has entered the climate change debate?
Osama bin Laden.
Yes.
You see, he's an environmentalist, you see. All his suicide bombers are locally sourced.
It's so bizarre, though, isn't it? Finding out that Osama bin Laden cares about the planet. It's so difficult to get your head around. It's like finding out Boris Johnson's Northern.
He's also, let's face it, most of the work he claims credit for is kind of airplane-based.
Yeah. What he must have done after 9/11 is just planted trees.
He carbon offset 9/11.
Osama's released another 2 videos. He's putting out more stuff than Michael McIntyre, for God's sake. I saw his Hello Kabul, and it is awesome.
It was actually an audio tape, wasn't it, that he sent in, as opposed to a videotape, which he normally sends in. So it appears we haven't hit Osama bin Laden, but we have hit his video camera.
What did he claim, by the way, in the previous message?
That the Detroit bomber was the trouser bomber at Christmas Day, was a hero. He failed. All he did was scorch his nads. It makes you think, how bad are the other suicide bombers? They go, Osama, I have a plan. It's an ejector seat for a helicopter.
He actually did. Apparently, the guy Umar Farouk Abdulmutallab.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
I thought there was a reason you were chanting that earlier.
Yes. No, that's not what I was chanting. Did you see me chanting? No one should have seen me chanting. That's important. That's my cover blow. But the Umar Farouk Abdulmutallab, it said, as a claim in the questioning, said, there will be 20 more like me, he said, which I think was meant to scare people who would have gone, no, 20 more like the guys in 9/11, we'd be scared of that. 20 more people who set fire to their own arse, that's all right. We can handle that.
Who said that again?
Umar Farouk Abdulmutallab.
Yeah, I love the fact that when people say his name, they just like... when newsreaders get his name right, it's like they want to high-five each other or something. Like, yes, look at me. But it's just a name. Like, when I was a little kid, I called up a radio station, right, to win tickets. And I got straight through to the radio DJ, right? So I told him my full African name, which is Yewande. It's 3 syllables. Anthony, that's 3 syllables. Stephanie. And he said to me, I'm really sorry, I can't pronounce it. I'm going to call you Joe. He didn't even try. He didn't even try. But the thing is, when I think back about this, right, I hope that there's an equivalent of this situation happening in Nigeria. Do you know what I mean? Like a little English kid is calling up a Nigerian station and going, oh, hello, I'm calling up for... OK, you're going to be on the air soon. What's your name? Charles. Cheese? Charles. Choose? I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. I'm going to call you Umar Farouk Abdulmutallab. OK, you're on the air. You know what I mean?
That's a great point. That's exactly the reason why, when I'm entering radio competitions, that I don't use my African name either.
Right.
What did Tesco ban this week?
Tesco have banned pyjamas.
Sainsbury's.
This is basically what's happened. You know, some lady said she wanted to wear her pyjamas and got turned away.
She said brilliantly, though, well, she said, they don't realise how difficult it is. I've got 3 kids, I haven't even got time for a cup of tea, let alone getting all dolled up.
Dress code? Dress code? Are you kidding? Most of the customers at my Tesco don't even have a DNA code. I'm here all week.
One of the people who was turned away said, we was only popping in for a pack of fags. If we was doing a proper full shop, then we obviously would have gone in clothes. I mean, there is a kind of a thing that she would go, listen, it's only fact, and it's kind of a point. She did go on to say, I've got lovely pairs of pyjamas with bears and penguins on. I've worn my best ones today just so I look tidy. She's made an effort. No problem.
People slagging her off, saying that, you know, she just got out of bed, but no, she put them on specifically. She wouldn't have worn her second-rate pyjamas. No, that would have just been a chavvy disgrace.
What I like about this story is that it has all the ingredients of a right old classic British carry-on movie Ding Dong. And on top of it, the supermarket where it's actually happened is a part of Cardiff called St. Melons.
I hope this doesn't happen at my Tesco, because I sleep in the nude, ladies.
Why is it ironic that Tesco would complain about this?
Because they sell push-up bras for 6-year-olds?
No, that's not why it's ironic.
Martin Clunes. Martin Clunes has done an advert in which he's in pyjamas.
And he walks out of his house in pyjamas into a Tesco in pyjamas. Yes, and you kind of go, you advertised this! You said it's OK. Oh, it's OK for Clunes to do it. All right, fine.
Jug-eared funny man, Martin Clunes.
Yeah.
It's an advert. It's not real life. Meerkats don't wear a little waistcoat. Gorillas aren't really excited about drumming.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Andrew Hughes Stewart. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear in a fitness video.
Oi, we're going to Ross Kemp on leotards.
Now I'd like all you ladies to turn around, face away from me, bend over and touch your toes.
I'm Madonna. I'm a 50-year-old woman with the body of a 40-year-old man.
Hi, Hi, I'm Michael Owen. Welcome to my fit... Oh, no, it's gone again.
Welcome to Masturbate Yourself Thin. Remember, swap arms or you'll end up looking like a wonky Popeye.
Want to have the type of body to drive your friends' wives crazy? Hi, I'm John Terry.
Hi, today I'm on a Swiss ball. Uncomfortable, particularly for the Swiss man it belongs to.
Hey, wanna lose weight and gain a friend? Why not insert a tapeworm?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the living proof that you can exercise yourself straight.
Everybody wants a six-pack. I do, and I've already had 5 of them.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Cole. Welcome to my boxer-size video. Now, for this first workout, you're going to need a Nigerian toilet attendant and a really good lawyer.
OK, go on. See if you can raise your leg as high as I can. I bet you can't, because I'm Heather Mills.
OK, the next topic is unlikely lines to hear in a Hollywood blockbuster.
Nemo, where the fuck have you been?
Look, Mr. Bond, do you want to hire the Ford Focus or not?
Mr. Vader, we are the child support agency.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Welcome to the Fox News Channel.
Warning, this film contains Jennifer Aniston.
Spider-Man, look out! It's rolled up newspaper man!
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, where do you want to go, Hans?
E.T. got bone.
I've worked out what to do with Goldfinger. What we do is we put him in a big envelope marked Cash My Gold.
What do you think of my Fathers for Justice costume, Robin?
Cracking heroin, Gromit.
Look, I'm just an ex-Prime Minister standing before an Iraq inquiry, asking them to love him.
Oi! 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 Hermione! Cocos Ingorgio!
So this mission is impossible. Let's not bother.
Andy Dufresne. When he walked into Shawshank, I knew he was fucked.
Revenge will be mine, Mr. Bond, when we meet in small claims court.
Use the Force, Luke! And if that doesn't work, turn it off and turn it back on again.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Andy and Andy. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Andy Osho and Russell Howard. Commiserations to Andrew Maxwell, Hugh Dennis and Stuart Francis. Thanks for watching. I'm Darrell Green. Good night.
String vest and a pink silky G-string. You've got to see it to believe it. Rab C. Nesbitt is next. Then the comedy continues on BBC Two with Bellamy's People at 10.
Read about the things that happen throughout the world.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Holly Walsh and Russell Howard, Jack Whitehall, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of a packed House of Commons recently, but what does PTFC stand for?
Is it Pissed Tossers Face Chop?
Is it Parliament, too few chairs?
Is it in fact just everything that they've spent money on? Porn, televisions, furniture, castles.
Is it Perspective Tempts 15-foot cameraman?
Is it Politicians Turn Out for Free Cakes?
What about the least recognisable man in politics? Politicians Try and Find Clegg.
Or is it they're actually playing a game, pick the fattest Conservative?
Is it in fact the new Labour car scrappage scheme? Toyotas for Conservatives. Imagine how good that'd be if I managed to say Prius and Toyota.
Personally, I drive a Prius. The handling is incredible. You drive my new Toyotas, darling. Yes. It goes 0 to 60.
Or is it Performers Try Find Caption?
OK. The P is for payback.
Payback time.
Pay back the fucking cash!
No, but that was a proper cri de coeur, wasn't it? That came from the heart.
I want to know which paper that comes from, because I'd like to read that every day.
It's the Parsons Gazette. I mean, every article's the same. Look at these arseholes!
Not that particular, but the payback what?
Payback time for Commons.
Well done, very good. Thank you very much. Cheers. Yes, the answer I was looking for was payback time for Commons. This is the news that MPs have been ordered to repay over £1 million of their expenses following an audit of claims dating back to 2004. How do we feel about the MPs' expenses?
It just refuses to go away, this story, doesn't it? It's like thrush. Every time you open the paper, it's back. I'm fed up with hearing certain MPs say, it's legal, it's legal. So standing outside an old folks' home dressed as Harold Shipman, just don't do it.
They have paid back supposedly over £1 million, but the inquiry itself cost £1.5 million.
And what was not covered in the Legg report about it? What wasn't covered?
Oh, the second houses.
Second housing, the flipping of houses.
The big story.
The thing that people got really angry about, the flipping houses, wasn't in the flipping report. So it's actually just stuff like travel expenses. I mean, there was a league table in The Guardian during the week of the 5 MPs who've taken the most in travel expenses. And coincidentally, it was the MP for Orkney, the MP for the Shetland Isles. And you kind of go, that's probably fair enough.
My favourite expense without doubt, there was one MP that allegedly claimed £5,000 for stationery. What does he write on? Dried unicorns?
There was one bloke, wasn't there? He claimed to have his hedge trimmed around his helipad. And you're thinking, why on earth do you need a hedge around your helipad? And surely, if you use that helipad often enough, it should trim the hedge forward.
What annoys me, though, as well, is the way that they kind of thought that we'd, like, forget about it. It's like, we're not. Screw them. Every single one of those, like, greedy bastards use their expensive claims to pay for, like, tennis coaches for their wife who's getting screwed into oblivion behind their own back, or the school fees for their posh, yuppie daughter, Tara Misalata, who got a Porsche before she hit puberty, and completely and utterly neglect the lives of their sons that have failed performing arts degrees and use fleeting panel show appearances as a desperate cry for help.
What was Cameron's response, by the way, to it?
It's awful, it's bloody awful. It's an absolute disgrace,
Well, no, he had to tone it down because he also was tied by the same rules. Yeah.
Only a little bit. But the thing is, you can't have Cameron sort of lecturing us about money because he's so posh. When he was little, he didn't have an Action Man, he had a Gurkha.
He said that it was out of order for Brown to complain about the expenses because he said Gordon Brown cannot reform the institution because he is the institution. Which is meant as a bit of a zinger, but if anyone ever said that, I would be around number 10 in my pants going, I'm the institution. Yeah. Are you the institution? Oh, you're not the institution. I am the institution. Who's that? Who's that? Who's the institution? Oh, I'm the institution. Yeah. How's Gordon Brown been preparing for the election?
He's been eating 9 bananas.
9 bananas.
9 bananas.
Whoa, sorry, here.
First off, he had a Kit Kat obsession. He's replaced the Kit Kats with bananas, which I think is a great shame, because Kit Kats, he's getting a subliminal message that we all want him to have. Have a break.
I think being photographed eating fruit is a bad idea because that immediately alienates your Scottish voters.
Yeah. The thing about bananas, though, isn't it, is it's supposed to convert into serotonin, which makes you happy. Now, he has 9 bananas a day. Imagine how miserable he would look if he wasn't eating those bananas. Presumably he likes bananas so he can fit one in sideways to make it look like he's smiling.
What Gordon Brown, though, is doing with the bananas, he's cutting them up very, very fine, then cooking them in oil. I said to him, listen, mate, you're frittering your life away.
What has added this week to car manufacturer Toyota's troubles?
Now this is a recall. They've had to recall a second car.
They may have to do
it, but it does the whole thing. It explains to me one of the great mysteries in advertising. The car in front is a Toyota because its accelerator is stuck.
I'd imagine a better ad now would be the car behind you is a Toyota. I'd get out of its way.
The other day, right, when I read the headline, "Faulty Toyotas Recalled," I was like, brilliant. That's my favourite Japanese sitcom.
Toyota owners have been
That's
told...
a good joke, come on. 40 Toyotas. I was then going to go on and do an impression of Dark Mansion in a War, but I'm not doing that.
Toyota owners have been told, haven't they, to take their 40 cars back to the garage. Now, you're thinking that's probably a little bit dangerous for the garage owners. You know, looking at, oh, my God, here's one coming. Looks like it's coming a bit quickly. Quick, behind the wall, behind the wall.
Yeah, if the garage you're bringing it back to is called Cliffside Motors.
They said as well that if you take it back, they can fix it in, like, half an hour. Yeah. I always get worried about how easy they can seem to do these things, because it really scares me. Like, I was on a plane the other day, and I was sat on it for, like, half an hour, and after half an hour, the guy came on the PA system. He was like, don't be alarmed, in a couple of moments, the cabin's going to go quiet whilst we kill the engine before we then reboot it to try and fix the system. I was like, great, I'm on a little metal bird that's about to travel through the air, and the way you plan to fix the current problem is by switching it off and switching it back on again. It's not a PlayStation. Make up some technical shit, and that will reassure me. Like, I was half expecting to say, oh, yeah, it's going to be a couple of minutes more whilst we send the co-pilot out on the runway to see whether smacking it on the side will work.
Actually, and it's a good point. I mean, how can it be fixed? You know how it can be fixed?
Yeah, you need a shim.
It needs a shim, you're absolutely right. But, like, look at it. Look at the size of the shim. Wow. Right? And that's like, it's not like a chip or anything. That is just a small piece of metal. It's like, that was clearly in a bag somewhere in the factory. And they went, hey, what are these for? Are they part of it? Are they a thing? I don't know.
Great.
Don't ask any questions, Terry.
I'm really helpful. I'm pleased as well that my granny is going to be fine with this, because she's one of those women. She's quite old-fashioned. She refuses to have any Japanese electronic equipment or anything in her house. And I asked my granny about this the other day, and I said, oh, is that because of the war? She said, no, she's just a massive racist.
It is, though, isn't it? There was lots of column inches spent on what do you do if your accelerator's stuck. And apparently the thing to do is to put your foot on the brake pedal. Yeah. Who would have thought that?
The thing to do is the handbrake. We've all done that when you've got a crappy old car. Yeah. Just whoa, and we're cooking. Yeah. And,
nothing worse when you're still accelerating and holding your handbrake.
I used to own a Toyota years ago, and I remember once I was driving along eating a marshmallow, and all of a sudden my airbag deployed. And in that moment, I thought I'd become really, really small.
The points go to Jack here in Milton. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask you to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features Peter Mandelson.
Well, welcome, Lord Mandelson, to the new Labour election HQ. We've got everything that you asked for. We've got an area for phone polling, we've got an area for leaflets, we've got an area for envelope stuffing, and, of course, we have begun work, as requested, on the machine. Oh? The machine? When will it be finished? Well, we just started the installation. It should be ready by the middle of next month. Ah, as soon as that. That's beyond my wildest imagination. Just one question, though. We're not quite sure. Well, you know, what is the machine? The machine? Yes, we never built one, so, you know, what exactly does the machine... Let me explain. The machine. Soon my enemies will be rounded up and fed into the machine. It will suck their brains dry, and I will be the most powerful politician in the world. It's just a machine for sucking dry the brains of politicians. Is that how... Yes. And this is where I will watch it from. Revenge will be mine, Harry Potter. Are you going to put glass in this? Only I don't want to get splashed.
And well done, you. Now we play a round called Life is Like a Box of Mockolets. This game involves Milton, Andy and Jax. If you could make your way over to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK? Here we go. Our first topic, please. The first subject is education. Any Parsons?
Yes, well, I'd like to start off with arithmetic. And how come there's only one person on my team and two on theirs? You may have seen, however, there is a school in Tyneside which now doesn't open until 10 a.m. in the morning because they think teenagers need an extra hour and a half in bed to cope with puberty. What a marvellous euphemism that is, ladies and gentlemen. My mother burst into my room unexpectedly and caught me coping with puberty. There have been a lot of teachers in the press recently, stories where they've been caught having sexual relationships with their pupil. The one that caught my eye, 26-year-old PE teacher who'd been caught shagging this 16-year-old lad. And the paper's going, oh, there's a lot of questions that need to be asked. I'm sure a question that a lot of people wanted to ask was, where was she when I was at school?
Thank you very much, Andy. OK, let's spin the wheel again. And the subject is media. Who wants to come in on that? Jack.
You hear the weirdest things on news reports. I was watching one a couple of months ago about the Californian forest fires. I genuinely heard a man say that apparently 300 mobile homes have been destroyed. Now, I don't know whether there are that many advantages to a mobile home, if any, but one of the main ones, the big selling point of the mobile home, is that you're not really tied down to an area, especially if the said area is on fire. I also saw the most ludicrous one ever, which was a guy on the news, a so-called expert, say that apparently obesity is now a bigger threat to this country than Al-Qaeda. It's definitely not. What would you rather have sat opposite you on the train on your way home? Some mental guy with a beard and like a 100-yard stare with a rucksack full of Semtex? Or just a jolly little fat kid with a rucksack full of Quavers? That's not me, like, belittling obesity, because actually my mum has quite a lot of issues with her weight. She uses those dieting pills, although I did have to point out to her the other day they don't work if you butter them.
Thank you very much, Jack. OK, Milton, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is travel.
I've just come back from Australia. While I was there, I learnt some Aboriginal words like boo, which means to return, because when you throw an ordinary meringue... I didn't think much of the film on the plane coming back from Australia. It turned out to be a 24-hour animation of a plane travelling from Sydney to London. Whatever you do, don't go and see Time to Destination. Italians, slanty little eyes. Sorry, italics. Just come back from Dartmoor, where I spent 3 days shooting at life-size models of Sarah Ferguson and Princess Diana. Got nothing against them myself, it's just they made it part of the Duke of Edinburgh's awards scheme. I've just come back from Russia. Always wanted to go out with a Russian girl, because in my experience, inside every Russian woman, there's another Russian woman.
OK, point in that round. Go to Milton and Jack. Come on back. The next round is called This Is the Answer. What is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Holly, which category would you like?
Sport.
Sport is the category. The answer is 12 minutes. What's the question?
How long is too long a pause to say no after your girlfriend says, does my bum look big in this?
Is it if you push someone down the escalators at exactly the right speed, how long will they keep falling?
How long on average does it take an elderly woman to complete any kind of transaction at an ATM?
Is it when he looks back on his time in office, how much will Gordon Brown be proud of?
Is it if you brake in a Toyota, how long till it stops?
Is it after how long of watching Paddy McGuinness's new dating show Take Me Out did I pray that the title had literal connotations?
Is it how long after the wedding ceremony did Paul McCartney think, I've made a mistake?
What is a worryingly long time to be having a piss?
What is the longest John Terry has kept it in his pants?
Is it
a million miles.
It's the time it took Fabio Capello to tell Terry that he'd been sacked.
That's exactly it. Thank you very much, Russell. The question I was looking for was, how long did it take England manager Fabio Capello to sack John Terry as captain? This is the news that during a 12-minute meeting, Terry was relieved of his captaincy and has been replaced by Rio Ferdinand. Was it the right decision?
Yes.
OK. Capello does come out of it well, doesn't he?
I like the way he demanded that he wear a tie. Like the meeting was held up because he wasn't wearing a tie.
Yeah.
You can do anything you like in the England squad, but only your sex can be casual.
The meeting was a bit like a speed date, wasn't it? One of them was being very critical, the other one was sensing rejection, and they both left without getting a shag.
I don't think Fabio missed a trick, though. You go, who is the new England captain? He should have gone, his name is Rio, and he dances on the sand.
Government is fast, given that half it had to be interpreted into Italian and then back out. That's like a 6-minute meeting. Then there's the hello. Then there's the kind of awkward pause where they go... That Toyota thing is a bit of a mess, isn't it? Yeah.
What's hilarious, though, you've just got people going, sacked as captain, he should be sacked from England. You're like, no, he shouldn't. He's really good at football. That's why he's going to stay. What's interesting about this, it makes you think Rooney could get away with anything. He could eat a baby. He could walk around Buckingham Palace naked and slap a swan with his wang, and the Queen would go, it's a World Cup year. Leave him to it, Philip.
Don't you not think it's a slightly unfortunate photograph as well? It looks like Fabio's going, and then he took her like this.
Maybe that's what the interview was. Maybe it was 1 minute going, you're sacked, and then the other 11. So tell me, what happened?
We don't leave out any details at all.
I think it's good for Terry as well, because Terry's like, he was quite a boring sportsman, and this has come out, it's like, it's quite interesting. It's like the same as Tiger Woods. He was so dull, and then he did that, and I was like, it's quite interesting now. I think more boring sportsmen should do it. Like, I would like Michael Owen far more if I found out he was into, like, badger baiting.
Well, funny you should say that.
They were actually chanting, though, at Chelsea, weren't they? They were going, there's only one England captain. The chant I thought they might have come up with was, Chelsea, wherever you may be, don't leave your wife with John Terry.
It's pretty funny, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? The idea that they've got rid of Terry because he's morally reprehensible and replaced him with Rio? That's like swapping a pit bull for a staffy, isn't it?
They've replaced a guy who shagged around on his wife with a man who's currently banned for violent conduct on the field for elbowing another footballer in the head. And the vice-captain just got cleared on an assault charge for punching a guy who he thought was attacking him when the guy was actually recoiling from being punched in the face by one of Gerard's friends. Or you could have got the guy whose marriage broke up, or the guy who went to the prostitute. Really, you shouldn't be picking your captains on a moral ground. See, it must be like a prison yard or something like that. And when they're like, Theo Walcott in the middle of all that, they're going, what would you do? And he went, I just want to play football. What special services did the government shut down this week?
This is the swine flu hotline.
Swine flu hotline is gone. Yeah, if you have any questions you want to ask the swine flu hotline, that moment has passed. Yeah. Yes.
But basically, isn't it, we apparently now have 60 million surplus vaccines that the NHS have, right? So you go and see your doctor now. Oh, doctor, I've broken my leg. Oh, here's some Tamiflu. We need to get rid of it.
Yeah. I'm going to miss it so much. I loved having fun with, like, swine flu. But the best is when you're on the tube, because if you coughed, anyone was just like, oh, God, we're going to die. And everyone got really nervous and got off at the next stop. Like, even the Muslim extremists with the backpack were like, screw this shit, I'm out of here.
I fantasised about that. When it first came out, I was thinking, how much fun would it be to go to the doctor's just holding a pig wearing a sombrero? You get seen straight away. He's feeling snuffly.
Can I just say, did anyone here have any experience of the swine flu hotline?
No, do you know it was being manned by 16-year-olds, though?
It was being manned by 16-year-olds?
How fantastic is that? You don't want a 16-year-old kid diagnosing you. Yeah, I've got a rash on my breasts.
If anyone knows how to get hold of drugs quickly, it's a 16-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, they already have a distribution network, so they kind of got to...
I had to advertise it for a bit.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, there were different voiceovers for different stages of the pandemic.
What did you
get? I think I was stage 3.
Ooh.
And stage 1 was, there is just normal seasonal flu.
Yeah.
And then stage 4 was, you're going to die, you're going to die. I was stage 3, which was... if pandemic flu reaches Britain. They missed that stage out completely.
What, did we go straight to the you're going to die, you're going to die? I don't remember seeing the ads that went, you're going to die, you're going to die. But now Coronation Street.
On one hand, I was terrified, and on the other hand, I was thinking, I haven't been paid. They've missed out on my...
Did you see the advert? It's hilarious, right? The official government advert, there's a bloke in a lift with a family, the family having an amazing time, then the bloke sneezes, and there's a shot of the baby looking at the man going... like a child is going to go, how could you? Mother killed him.
You don't want 16-year-olds handing out advice for health, though, do you? You phone up the hotline, you go, oh, I'm pale, I feel awful, I've got no energy. 16-year-olds are going, well, you're probably a goth.
Can I just go back to this? I'm sorry, I'm intrigued by this. I'm intrigued by the fact that in a time of pandemic and crisis, Hugh Dennis was cashing in, firstly. But also was the voice that we were supposed to be reassured by. Which of your voices did you do for this?
Yeah, which one?
The Prince. Stay at home. Lock your doors. It's coming. We can't tell you when.
That's genuinely weird.
Yeah. But the problem is people don't understand disease. When AIDS first became a crisis, I was operating the goods lift in Harrods. I was a student, I was trying to earn money. And the only thing we knew about AIDS was it started in Holland, right? And the bloke who operated the goods lift with me refused to unload a consignment of Edam cheese.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Holly and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is... unlikely things to read in a Valentine's Day card.
I may be dyslexic, but that doesn't mean I don't vole you.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I've got something nasty, and now so do you.
You make me so hot, I can't stop thinking about you. Lots of love, Mum.
Happy Valentine's Day on this 24th of February. Love, Royal Mail.
You're the perfect person for me. Pissed and gagging for it.
Be my Valentine or die in a well.
I love your eyes, I love your nose, I love your smell. Why must you be a Labrador?
Do we have to go through this shit every year?
You make my pants hot. Yours, Omar Farouk Abdul Muttalib.
To my darling wife, roses are red, violets are blue. Valentine's Day is consumerist bullshit. Now, haven't you got some ironing to do?
Roses are red. Poppies are red. The grass is all red. Shit, the garden's on fire!
I'm a bit of a man for the ladies. Doesn't matter how clearly the gents are signposted.
I love you so much. I love you like no other. But never again les up with my mother.
Life with me, baby, is like a roller coaster. It's got a weight restriction.
There are just 3 words I want to say. Dream on, bitch.
OK, next topic is unlikely things to hear in a science programme.
1643. The cold air balloon is invented. But it doesn't really take off.
For Einstein, it was easy to choose a DJ name. He would be MC squared.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gillian McKeith, and today I'll be sifting through your poop. Why? Because I was never hugged as a child.
Now on 5, crop circles, myth or bollocks?
Next, to demonstrate chaos theory, we've locked Boris Johnson in a room with an aardvark and some magic mushrooms.
I was the man who discovered DNA. I wasn't going to call it that, but I was giving a lecture to the Royal Society, and I said, gentlemen, I believe I've discovered the genetic fingerprint of all human life. Ta-da!
I've been Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless. Shit!
Thanks to carbon dating, this skeleton is now going out with a short-sighted geology student who likes thin people that don't talk much.
1891. Sir Alexander Graham Benn receives the first wrong number telephone call.
He realised that this equation was going to take him absolutely years. So he switched to a media studies course, which was a piece of piss.
I did have here a pie chart to demonstrate obesity.
Apart from the human, the only animal to enjoy having sex is the dolphin. I had to shag a lot of animals to find that out.
I'm a meerkat, she's not lying.
Tonight we'll be discussing molecular science. Our guests are Sir Patrick Moore, Robert Winston, and Dappy off of N-Dubs.
With their tiny arms, could the T-Rex self-pleasure? Let's find out in another edition of Wanking with Dinosaurs.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Holly and Andy. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Jack Whitehall, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Commiseration to Andy Parsons, Holly Walsh and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. I'm Gareth Breen. Good night.
The comedy continues here on BBC Two as Rabsy Nesbitt is left more than a little confused by a love triangle. That's next.
and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Russell Howard, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Kevin Bridges. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of the three-party leaders, but what does EFGC stand for?
Is it everybody frowns at a ginger cat?
It's close. It's England's finest gay choir.
Is it everybody finds Gordon creepy?
Was it the photographer's instructions? Eyes forward, gobs closed.
Is it ecstasy fiends on gigantic come down?
It's actually to do with ecstasy. It's what Nick Clegg needs for a big night. Ecstasy, frisky goths and a camcorder.
They all look thoroughly miserable, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Is it excited fans gather for Coldplay?
Is it everyone forgets Jeffrey Clegg?
Is it? Are you sure it's not election fever? Go compare.
Wow, that guy would really cheer up the election, wouldn't he?
I'm looking at Brown's expression and I'm thinking it's Etonian fondles Gordon's crotch.
This doesn't quite fit, but is it Piers Morgan is a twat?
I think the E stands for election.
It does stand for
because
election,
this is
yes.
about politics.
Yes.
Election fever grips country?
Yes, it is. Well done. Very good. The answer I was looking for was election fever grips country. This is the news that Gordon Brown's appearance on Piers Morgan's talk show, the launch of a new Tory poster campaign and Nick Clegg's admission that he would dismiss a coalition in the face of a hung parliament have signalled that the race for number 10 has properly begun.
It's on.
It is. Oh, it's so happening.
Did you see the Morgan interview? It was absolutely incredible, wasn't it? Like,
I don't know, I didn't see it.
He absolutely ripped it. I reckon he's going to do more TV. I wouldn't be surprised if you flick the telly on, you see Brown just going, "Bring on the wall!" But he should have done that. He just should have wandered around ITV, getting rid of all these people we hate. Wouldn't that have been amazing seeing him on YouTube? Look what Gordon's brought back from ITV. It's just the decapitated head of Jeremy Kyle.
I didn't actually watch the programme. I was too busy hammering nails into my balls rather than watch it. But that's my Valentine's night ritual. Well, I do think it's a great idea for Gordon Brown to go on a chat show with Piers Morgan. If there's one way to make sure you don't look like the biggest arsehole in the room, is just be within the same room as Piers Morgan. It's just like, having a fat mate so you don't look so fat.
Did you see Morgan was like an 11-year-old boy? Do you drink a lot? Be like girls. Be got loads of girls, yeah? He asked the Prime Minister if he was a member of the Mile High Club. As if Brown's going to go, yeah, on telly, yeah, we're in the Mile... I banged her on an EasyJet. Is that what you want to hear?
In his head, was he going, more electable, less electable? More electable, less electable. If I admit to it, does that make me more of a better Prime Minister or a worse Prime Minister?
We've got all these, haven't we? We've got these celebrities fronting a lot of shows now. Obviously, we've got Piers Morgan life stories, Ross Kemp in Afghanistan. I'd just like to see them swap it round a bit. Ross Kemp's life stories, Piers Morgan in Afghanistan.
The reports always say, well, they're trying to make Gordon Brown more human. I love that idea. We're trying to make him human, like there's a bloke out the back. Quick, Igor, throw this switch. It's alive! It's alive! No, wait. No, it isn't. No.
He's been advised, though, isn't it? The reason he went on it, supposedly, is because his advisors have told him that Britain does not trust Gordon Brown. But we do trust Gordon Brown. We absolutely trust Gordon Brown to do the wrong thing all the time. So it was a waste of time.
Sarah Brown, though, she said that the reason she wanted him to go on the show was she wanted the public to be able to see the man she sees in private. At which point you're thinking, well, it was lucky he didn't turn up in his little underpants with a Kit Kat and a mug of tea going, why does everybody hate me?
Yeah, it said a Downing Street insider said Brown's incapable of leadership of any kind. I remember when the recession was in full flight, it was Gordon Brown set to lead the UK into a depression, which I thought he's the ideal man for that. Gordon Brown. The guy could lead a conga line into a depression.
What was David Cameron's reaction?
He wants to go on telly.
He does want to go on telly.
He's going to go on an episode of Look Good Naked.
The polls are very close at the moment, aren't they? They reckon if we went to the polls tomorrow, they reckon that Cameron would be 8 seats short of a majority. And I'm thinking, what a fantastic phrase that is. 8 seats short of a majority. Makes him sound like it's a bit simple, doesn't it? All that, Cameron, he's 8 seats short of a majority,
What have the Tories introduced this week?
Oh, I've got a new poster.
They have a new series of posters, actually, yeah, and they're kind of intriguingly done. I've never voted Tory before, ... It's essentially a round of scenes we'd like to see that they're putting up all over the country. It's a caption competition. There's a family one, there's a guy in a garage for some reason I've never voted Tory for, but when you Twitch, you'd probably go, that's all very interesting, Dave, but you've had the car since Wednesday. Any chance you're gonna... It's nice that we have these times to chat, but any chance you could fix the brakes for me? But it's such a scene you'd like to see. You can actually stick yourself into it. You can do it as a game. I've never voted Tory. I've never voted Tory before. This is my own particular caption, but Cameron is holding a gun to my testicle. Feel free. Stick them online, you can do your own one. How scary do I look when I actually take what is clearly a publicity photograph for a comedy tour, but put me in overalls?
You look like a Russian gangland killer.
I'm really proud of that. I find that I look quite hard.
Even though you're not actually there, you look uncomfortable to be in a garage.
It's like the caption should be Ross Kemp on garages.
But, you know, the Tories have got far more money than Labour to spend on adverts. And the brilliant thing is they whack up an advert now and then everybody spoofs it. They're basically paying for their own downfall. It's absolutely fantastic. You can imagine what's going to happen. You know, go on the web soon. You know, I've never voted Tory before, but I've only just had a lobotomy.
I've never voted Tory before, but I've finally learned how to spell X.
I've never voted Tory before, but I believe you should try everything once. That's why I'm addicted to crystal meth.
Do you see where he's been this week trying to win votes? Scotland. That's right. Tories trying to get votes in Scotland. That's about as likely as switching on BBC One and seeing David Attenborough headbutt a gorilla.
What he's actually said is he's trying to reach out to Scottish people who haven't voted Tory before, or as we also call them, Scottish people.
Do you know how many Scottish MPs there are? Kevin, do you know how many Scottish MPs we have?
I don't have a clue. How many?
One. It is practically, his visit to Scotland is like an episode in Last Chance to See. Because there's only one, so they can't breed anymore. And so this one's going to die out, and that'll be the end of it.
He tried to win them over with green policies. If he wants to win the Scottish vote, he should make ginger people tax-exempt.
And Scottish people can see through David Cameron's sort of, that kind of never been punched in the face confidence. And Gordon Brown, he looks defeated, dejected, waiting for the worst to happen. He looks like Scotland.
Scottish Tory conference is one day.
It's one day long. That's all they've got.
They basically just meet up to make sure they're all still alive. And they go, "You're right then, all right, guys. See you next year." That's it. They go away. It's like a mercy visit on his part. It's like, you know, when you go and see your nan in the home and you're saying, "Yeah, I'm sure you'll soon be able to return home." No. Yeah, one day there will be Tory MPs here. No.
I've got an image of them just in a van. Anybody? Any Tories?
Bring out your Tories. Ning, 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 ning. Just wheeling them around in the car.
The Tories announced this week that supposedly 54% of girls under 18 in deprived areas got pregnant. Then they apologised and said, no, it's in fact 5.4%. George Osborne said they'd got the decimal point in the wrong place. And you're thinking, oh, fantastic. So we can soon look forward to VAT at 175%.
My favourite thing about it was when they said to him, it's actually 5.4, he went, yeah, but still.
Isn't that exactly what happens, how the teenage girls get pregnant in the first place? Is because the digit didn't go in the right place.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Ed and Andy. OK. Now we play a round called Ashley Cole just sent me a picture of his mock. This game involves Kevin, Russell and Chris, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Our first topic, please. First subject is weather.
Oh,
OK, Chris House.
We, in this country, massively overreact to weather. There was this a tornado in Birmingham a few years ago. The tiniest tornado you've ever seen in your life. In America, a tornado is a massive thing that destroys whole states. Here, the twister hit Selly Oak. And the entire British press went nuts. The Guardian said it dislodged roof tiles and smashed plant pots. Oh, no! They interviewed these two lads on the Today programme on Radio 4. One of them said it was horrifying. He said, I was sat in my back room. I thought the window was going to come in. Next thing I knew, a bin liner flew past. Not a car. Not even a bin liner. It was so breezy. And he talked to his mate. They said, what was it? His mate had evidently been followed down the street by the tornado, right? Before, presumably, he went behind his gate and shot it and the tornado bounced off. What was it like? Ow! Ow! He said, ow. It was horrifying. He said it was like being followed down the street by a giant carrot. Not a whirling funnel of death. A giant carrot. I hate vitamins.
Thank you very much, Chris. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is school. Who wants to come into that? Hello, sir.
Is that an apple for school? I went to school in Scotland, so I've never seen... According to a recent shock statistic, 1 in 3 children, 1 in 3 15-year-olds in the UK admits to being sexually active. I think anybody who's actually shocked by this statistic forgets their school days. Now, just because a 15-year-old claims to be sexually active does not mean that they are sexually active. If some youth worker approached you at 15 years old in front of all your mates and asked you if you were sexually active, you'd be going, of course, mate, who's Shagger? Put me in for 4, pal. Another fun memory of school. Remember the first day back at school after the summer holidays, first day of term, that was a good day. You pay attention, that was the day you found out what class you were in. I don't mean educationally, I mean socially. First day after summer, you had the rich kids. They'd come strolling in with a suntan and a new school bag, and then the poor kids would come in with a black eye and a new second name. You need to ask your teacher, sir, how come Jamie Cosgrove's now called Jamie De La Cruz? Oh, that's because his mum's dirty.
Well done.
That was my school day.
OK, Russell, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is joy.
Two very giddy albinos there. Do you know what gives me joy? People who are a bit different. I fell in love with my friend Tom, age 5. He stood up in the middle of a nativity play and went, well, enough's enough. What made it even better, he was the front end of a donkey. I like noises as well. I heard this in a supermarket the other day. Whee! I thought, I'm following that, right? It was an old man skidding on a trolley. He'd done the trolley gauntlet, just whee! Just this blur of giddy wrinkles. What made it even better, a security guard stopped him and went, oi, I've told you. How can that not make you happy? And sometimes we laugh at stuff that we shouldn't. Like, I was in a pub recently, I saw a full-size Jenga topple onto a pissed dwarf. Now, the head says no, the belly says yes! Laugh, Russell! Before the bricks hit his tiny face, he went, bloody hell. A bloke 2 seats along went, that was like 9/11. You're there going, oh, God.
Thank you very much, Russell. And the points there go to Chris and Kevin. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Kevin, which category would you like?
Sport, please, Dara.
OK, your category is sport. The answer is 17 days. But what is the question?
What was the winner's time in last year's Glasgow Marathon?
Is it how often would Tiger Woods sleep with his wife if he operated a squad rotation policy?
Is it how long do you hallucinate if you lick Bruce Forsyth?
How long has Vernon Kay been sleeping in the spare room?
How long does it take Abu Hamza to do the washing up?
Is it how many days are there in a calendar from Poundland?
Is it, on average, how long after being born do babies in Chingford get their ears pierced?
How many days of Christmas do Jedward think there are?
Is it how many days into his 40-day fast did Jesus go sod this and magic up a sandwich? Ta-da! Chicken! Num num num.
OK, can you move towards the correct answer, please?
It's like how long do the Winter Olympics go on?
Absolutely, that's very good. Thank you very much. The question I was looking for was how long in total will the current Winter Olympics last? The event, which started in Vancouver last week, has been beset by many problems, including a spate of bad weather, or good weather, depending how you look at it, which forced organisers to reschedule some events. Have you only been watching it?
Oh, it's dull, isn't it?
It's not. You've not been watching the right events. It's fantastic.
Give me one.
OK, right. OK, I could. You know,
let's have a Winter Olympics duel.
That one's where you send the 4 snowboarders down at the same time and just bump into each other. That's very good. The moguls, where you just go, ooh, that's bad in your knees. That's particularly good because they go, ooh, 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 which is essentially all they do. Is they go, either left.
Monkey
right.
impressions.
The ones like the biathlon, they're genuinely great. The ones where they do this for an hour and then a man, although that stance actually is a bit camp, to be fair. That does look like we googled biathlete.
It also looks
I went to the wrong website entirely. Oh, get that on your target.
The reason they go fast, though, I mean, they say they do go remarkably fast by athletes, but I think if the next competitor, if you knew the competitor behind you was on skis and had a gun, you would go fairly fast as well. It's actually all gone completely wrong. It went wrong right from the opening ceremony because one of the torchbearers couldn't light their ring, and it is difficult. We've all tried it as students.
Chris.
The problem is they massively overcomplicate the torch thing every time. Have you seen the design for the London one? The design for the London one is Sally Gunnell turns a crank handle, a boot hits a bucket, a ball rolls out, goes down through a bathtub, which hits a seesaw, a little diver goes into a tub, which lets the cage go down on the mouth. I may have got that mixed up with something else, but
it's pretty great, though, if we just got Ray Winston to light it just by going...
Yeah.
No.
Leave it there, you slag.
Walking away.
See, they think...
Do you know why there's no snow there?
The long Good Friday, yeah.
The reason there's no snow, the audience are so depressed, their tears are melting it.
It's great. You've never skied or snowboarded or anything like that, no?
Of course I've not.
I like... skiing's great. I've tried snowboard and I can't do it. For me, snowboarding is like being beaten up by a mountain. That is my equivalent. Ed, do you want to come snowboarding? I could, or you could just cover yourself in snow and kick shit out of me. Very similar experience, a lot cheaper.
I think the ski jump with the long... Because there is an element of... There's a lot of hang time in a ski jump. Nothing that couldn't be cured by just, I don't know, Super Marioing it up a bit, by having giant pendulums that swing across. And you'd have to start your bit and time it exactly right. Otherwise, you'd be like, he's got great lift, bang, he's gone. He's
But the British team are struggling because the Snow Sport GB, which was the company that's supposed to look after them, went into administration. So all our athletes are struggling to find the money to actually be out there in the first place. So it seems that even if they win, when they get home, they'll have to get their medals, put them in an envelope, and send them off to Cash My Goal.
They're fiercely proud of the ice hockey over there in the Canadian. But I explained to them that over here hockey is basically a girls' game, and they say, "Oh yeah, but we do it on ice." I'm going, "Yes, because nothing makes it more manly than doing something on ice. That's how you macho something up. Ice."
Have you seen
some skates?
The other
Have you seen the snow leopard, by the way? Have you seen the snow leopard?
Snow leopard. Is he an assassin?
He's not an assassin, no. He's a Ghanaian skier called Kwame Nkrumah Achiampong. And do you know where he learned to ski? He's competing for Ghana.
Milton Keynes.
In Milton Keynes. He worked... he learned to ski when he was working as a receptionist at the ski centre in Milton Keynes. And his outfit actually isn't a tribute to the jungle or to Ghana or the native African wildlife. His leopard skin outfit is a tribute to the women of Milton Keynes. And interestingly... You can't really see it there, but it's backless. In other news, what are British people doing less of at the moment?
Less and less marriage.
Yes.
Yes.
Lowest figures since...
Since 1862. But we just can't be bothered, though, can we? That's why we're not getting married.
I don't think it's necessarily that.
I can't be arsed. It's just like, it's brutal. Like, no, but I love my girlfriend a lot, but as you know, every time we go past a jewellery shop, you turn into Gollum. And it's horrific, isn't it? Just dragging her away. I need it!
You can actually get, though, the one ring from jewellers.
Very easy to steal, though, because you just go invisible and walk out the shop.
Yeah, but to be honest, if you could be invisible, you wouldn't get married.
If you could be invisible, you wouldn't get married.
Oh, come on. What's the first... I'm the only one who would think a little bit pervy. Bullshit.
No. You and Harry Potter.
Yeah, me and Potter would be straight around Cheryl Cole's. Ashley, what the bloody hell's going on? Someone keeps knocking my boobs. Steady, Harry.
That's what you do if you're invisible.
Again.
You just go around to celebrities' houses. Dunk.
Yeah. Dunk. What would you do if you were invisible?
What would I do if I was invisible?
Yes, Chris.
I would fight crime.
Where can you now get married for the first time?
House of Commons. You can get married in the House of Commons. And it's brilliant, because then afterwards you can claim the whole thing on expenses. It costs you nothing.
In other news, who can tell me what's happening here?
That was lovely.
It is obviously hedgehogs, but why is one hedgehog slightly different to the other hedgehog?
It's a pair of testicles, the new STD awareness campaign.
It's what Cheryl Cole scratched off Ashley.
There's one left going, who ate all the flies? You fat hedgehog, you fat hedgehog. You ate all the... You understand.
It's the new Labour Party campaign. The Tories. They look cuddly, but they're full of pricks.
I've never voted Tory before. I'm a fucking hedgehog.
The big fat one was in Fife in Scotland, was in an animal rehabilitation centre. It was brought in for the winter but didn't hibernate. So its fat reserves weren't burnt off. So it carried on just eating its way through the winter. And now it's on a diet. They're probably 2 pounds overweight. 2 pounds overweight. Get you with your 2 pounds overweight. Some of us are carrying some real bulk around. Right?
Hardly shatter stereotypes about Scottish people. Even more hedgehogs are obese.
Yes. OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Chris, Hugh and Kevin.
That's the sort of game thing.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone, please, can make their way to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to get through your letterbox.
Royal Mail parcel delivery. We called, you were in, so we ran away before you could answer.
Just £3 a month will save last year's X Factor winner from starving.
Do you know what's in your attic? It's me. I've been there since Christmas.
Have you seen this dog? No. Maybe your windows are too dirty. Call Kevin, the window cleaner.
Are you looking for a dog walking service? Then call Ace Kebabs on 318-318.
Computer problems? Let me come round and swear at it.
Why has your girlfriend stopped changing near the window? Love, Dad.
Pizza. Buy one, pay full price.
How's my driving? Call 0800 crashed into your house.
Dear Miss Winehouse, congratulations on turning 100. Best wishes, the Queen.
Need a room clearing? Call me. I'll come round and fart in it.
Looking for an undertaker? Why not call Ace Kebabs on 318-318?
Gardening service, middle of the night, a speciality. Call Rose West on Broadmoor. Too soon, too soon.
Hello, my name's Ashley Cole. Here's a picture of me naked.
Would you recognise a fake ID? No? Great, I'll be back in 10 minutes.
The Taj Mahal Indian restaurant, formerly Ace Kebabs.
Open your letterbox. It's me. I'll get through one day.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear at the Winter Olympics.
And here are the British ice dance pair, Heather Mills and John Sargent.
And now, over to bobsled. Bob, how's the curling?
And while we wait for them to get set up there, we'll just pan the camera around. There's just a beautiful scenery. Oh, look, there's a herd of moose. Oh, no, that's the Romanian women's ice hockey team.
This is the big hill. Oh, that's long! That's very long! He's gonna wish he'd done his flies up.
It's 1 a.m. in the UK. You're watching the women's figure skating. Why not just bite the bullet and turn to Television X for the 10-minute preview?
And Britain comes away with 2 gold, 2 silver and a bronze. Well, that'll teach the Austrians a lesson for leaving their locker open.
And with conditions here reaching a bitter minus 20 degrees centigrade, the British hopeful from Newcastle has put on a second-string vest.
You're watching the women's curling. Men's curling? Women's. You're watching the curling.
No one has more experience on the ice than him. What a wonderful games it's been so far for Pingu.
And the conditions are perfect here, aren't they, John? Yes, they are, Bob. I haven't seen this much white powder since that stag weekend at the hotel in Bangkok.
Oh, and that's what ice hockey is all about. A man having his head repeatedly smashed into a glass wall.
The ski jump will start as soon as the British skier takes his hand off the side and stops crying.
And there, the skier has surprisingly stopped off halfway down for a mulled wine and a shit.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Ed and Andy. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Russell Howard. Commiserations to Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Kevin Bridges. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
A fancy Swiss dinner challenges Rab's, shall we say, rather loose tongue. That's all to come next on BBC Two.
Read all about
special edition of Mock the Week. This show is a selection of outtakes, best of material, and a lot of stuff you won't have seen before. Hope you enjoy it. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Tories' launch election campaign. It's election time again, with David Cameron saying this year's vote could not come soon enough. Although the date is as yet to be confirmed by the Prime Minister, the Conservatives have begun announcing their policies in a bid to woo voters and regain power. So how do they launch the campaign?
Well, mainly by putting up a big poster of his face.
Yes.
Where he's wearing so much makeup, he might as well just say, Tory, because you're worth it.
It is astonishing. It is. I just think they should have run. It's like on 760 poster sites. They should have just run this poster instead. Look at my big shiny face. Look at it. Look at it. Look at the way my forehead glow follows you around the room.
He looks like a cross between David Dickinson and Pingu.
A cross that we've all been waiting a long time to see.
To be honest, that penguin vote, no one's gone after that before. If you did all of his things by waddling around.
If they ever did that, they would close down CBeebies, wouldn't they? What are you doing, Dickinson? Leave him alone.
Take it, you little bastard. Take it.
I can't waddle away quick enough.
How much do you have to love yourself, you know, to launch your campaign with no policies and just a big picture of your own face? You know, we kind of now know what both leaders are going to say to us. Gordon Brown's going to say, don't trust the Tories, they'll put up taxes. And basically David Cameron saying, don't you wish your girlfriend was high?
What you have to remember is that Cameron was in PR. I mean, I was 12 years old when I had a paper round.
I'm very... It's a poster. He's trying to sell it. He's trying to sell it on the NHS, isn't he? That's the image he's got. It's all about the NHS. And now I'm slightly worried that Gordon Brown is going to have a poster about health as well, with a big picture of Gordon Brown, and then next to it, catch it, kill it, bin it.
I not only have issues with the big shiny face, I also have problems with the slogan.
Yeah.
You know, because every time I see that, we can't go on like this, in my brain the bit goes, with suspicious mind.
See what he also said, didn't he? He said there are some parts of Britain where actually you're more likely to see your dad drunk than doing a day's work. I wonder where that is then. Is it the House of Commons, by any chance?
I mean, my dad doesn't drink, but generally there are parts of Britain in which one is more likely to see your father drunk than at work. Like a pub, for example. What are you doing here? Well, I don't work here. What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah. When I was little, right, my dad used to enjoy a drink. He won't mind me telling the nation.
Well, you used to enjoy a drink?
No, but listen, man, it's really weird. So I remember once I was asleep and I heard, "Greetings, Russell." I was terrified. And it took me 2 weeks to figure out that he'd put a walkie-talkie underneath my bed. And every time he was getting him pissed, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll scare him." So it is good when dads drink.
There was another bit in the middle of getting drunk where he'd sober up and realised that this was a horrendous thing to do to a child.
It's not horrendous, it's hilarious. I found it. Did I confront him? Put it under my brother's bed.
We had friends who had a baby monitor, and they were staying in a hotel with a baby monitor with a baby next door, and you could talk through your side of the monitor and talk to your child in the next room, right? So when they heard the child crying, and they went, "No, it's all right, you can go to sleep, it's OK, we're only next door, it's all fine." And then they heard the small child replying and go, "OK, good night, wall."
That's wrong. Now we play a game called Picture of the Week. I show the panel an image from a recent story and ask them to tell me what's going on. So teams, what's going on here?
A very short policeman and a very tall policeman.
This is the controversial new Bring Your Child to Work day.
That's harsh. That's harsh.
Is this from Heat magazine, the story that Deck has got a part in the bill without telling Ant?
I reckon he's saying, you couldn't buy me some fags, could you?
Do you know what's great about this story? He is the smallest policeman in the country. He's 5 foot tall, right? There's a woman laughing, just the idea of it. But he's made 17 arrests this week, and I bet you money a lot of those revolve around the words Oompa Loompa Doo. What did you say?
Yeah. But I'd say most of the handcuffs are around people's ankles.
You know, he's a black belt in karate. Is he? Yeah. He
I
can't fit the
retract
belt around
everything
him.
I've just said about the man.
But what's bizarre about it, right? He can arrest a man, but he can't go on some rides at Alton Towers. So if you're ever running away from him, just go on a ride he can't get on.
He's actually not that small, right?
It's 5 foot. That's pretty small.
It's very small, but he's not like, you know, tiny.
If you think he's saying to the other one, I hope nobody's photographing this, I look ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you know
what Jonah's nickname is? What his nickname is?
Piglet.
No. No, not Piglet. There was no way this was going to be treated sensitively here, was there? There was no way it was going to be good for him, and getting a job that would have previously been shut down to him. No.
His nickname? Inspector Gadget?
No. Nickname is Laptop.
People say he isn't really useful, but he can be very useful because you think about it, they can dress him up as a kid and catch Peter. Just put him near some swings, and he's a black belt. When the nonce arrives, kabang!
The one on the left's wearing an overcoat, and the one on the right isn't. And it just goes to prove, once again, that when it comes to performance, a Mac is head and shoulders over a PC.
In other news, who has gobbled up Cadbury this week?
Kraft, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Kraft, whose only contribution to human progress so far is the invention of cheese that can also be used as a bookmark.
The guy who invented Kraft, I think it was like John Kraft or something, his original job, where the company built itself, he was a door-to-door cheese salesman.
Well, actually...
If every someone from another era, would you ever trust, ding dong, would you like some cheese? No. A man walking door to door.
I could beat that. My mate, when he was younger, used to be a door-to-door karate salesman. Can he do karate? No, he can't.
That question there could have been answered so many... You could have asked that question any week. Who gobbled up Cadbury's this week? Obviously, this week it's Kraft. Most weeks it would be sad, lonely women at that sort of...
I'll tell you what, though...
I'm not lonely.
And also... there is something...
I'm genuinely worried about dairy milk, though, because I don't know where it's my one source of milk.
So what's for dairy milk? Your bones would be nothing, you know?
On the news, they kept saying, they just kept saying that Cadbury's had been taken over by an American food giant. I was thinking, you're going to have to be more specific, because about half the population of America could technically be described as American food giant.
Truly, you could say him as the Jolly Green Giant. He's one of yours, isn't he? He's British. You could say that he could defend.
He's British. He's fictional, Dara.
Oh, well, that's real. Fictional British.
So he's green. What would make you think he wasn't one of yours?
Would anyone worry about British institutions becoming foreign when the royal family have been German since 1700?
There's a guy called Ray Egan. Ray Egan is a retired policeman who stands outside British companies when they're about to be bought in order to protest it, actually, and stands like that, dresses up as John Bull, Kraft. What I love about it is the fact he goes, hey, hey, not just Kraft go to hell, but hey, so Kraft will turn, yeah? Go to hell.
There was this big thing with all the phone debates when people were phoning up complaining, and it was beautiful moments of radio. I don't know if anyone heard it, but there was a woman on the phone saying, it's terrible what they've done, it's terrible that we're allowing them to sell a British institution like Cadbury's. And the radio presenter, it was Jeremy Viney, actually said, well, are you going to join the calls for a boycott of Cadbury's chocolate? She went, oh, I won't go that far.
My sister bought me a box of 48 bars, the standard size bars of dairy milk for Christmas, and I think she thought it would be like one a day and it would last for ages, and I just opened it with a kitchen knife. I did think about putting them all out on the bed and like writhing around naked like an indecent proposal.
Don't do that. Never mix sex and chocolate. Women tend to look like Morph.
Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the G20 leaders.
Well, saving the world financial system, that was me. What else? Inventing the space hopper, that was me. Battle of Agincourt, that was me.
So, Obama, we need to talk about Gordon Brown.
Yes, I know. He's claiming credit for everything. It's a problem. He needs to be stopped.
Yes, well, I will have a word with our friends, the Russians, see if they can use their methods.
Yeah, well, that's okay, but when it happens, my country can't be implicated in any way. There must be no mess, and we don't know what happened, okay?
Oh, my piles.
Hey, Dmitri, we're just talking about you. Yes, I know. I have you bugged. It's about Gordon Brown. Yes, the Gordon Brown problem. Well, leave it with me. I'll talk to Putin. So, it needs to look like an accident, yes?
Oh, time for my Viagra.
Your chair's over there. No chair's over there.
No moving. Shut up. Oh, Nico. I'll be with you in a minute. I'm just looking through the Hollyoaks calendar 2010. Oh, look at the bets on that.
Could you do Berlusconi in a 2-for-1 deal?
Well, let's have a look round. Look, there's Gordon Brown. He's taking credit for the moon landings. It's unbelievable. Hey, wait a minute. Where is my speech? Someone has stolen my speech. Where's my speech?
We have done what you asked, Master. We have stolen Chinese delegate speech.
That's it. Look up. Look round. Look presidential.
Where's the Viagra's working?
Oh, no. Hang on. That is the microphone. Oh, God, this speech is so boring. Where's my speechwriter? Where's my speechwriter? Is Michael McIntyre about?
So, Gordon, will you let me a speech? If you don't, I'm going to look like a fucking dick.
So, with Tendulkar moving on to 51, India 430 to 3.
Well done, here. Okay. In other news, what have we learned about pet owners this week?
We've learnt, apparently, that if you own a cat, that means you're more intelligent.
Yes, that was the survey that was said, yes.
Which is absolute nonsense. Owning a cat doesn't help your life in any way. I used to have a ginger cat, and I woke up with it on my face. I don't know if you've ever experienced terror like that. You're asleep and then... I've been headbutted by Anne Robinson, right? And we never knew where he was. We had this cat in our house. Every so often you just hear... It's like a Ginger alien moving around, right? The worst moment, this happened, right? I just got out of the shower, I was naked, and I was looking for some pants on the floor. I bent down, I generally heard... Right? And my cat was in my cupboard, obviously saw my balls and went, hello? Went up and went this. Just caught one of them, made one ball hit the other. He was using me like an executive toy. And here's the horrible thing, it wasn't entirely unpleasant.
You've now got a mental image that you, in fact, have 5 testicles.
To be honest, if I had 5 balls, I wouldn't be on this show. I'd be in some German circus. Behold!
It is this ludicrous myth, though, that cat owners, and I own cats, but the myth that they're independent, whereas dogs are not independent, as opposed to dogs can learn and cats cannot learn, because dogs have bigger brains, more intelligent. Because it's just transposing human traits onto animals. Oh, they're very independent the way they wander off. They're not really independent. Yeah. You never come home and go, how's the cat? And your wife goes, still talking about moving to Paris. Very independent, our cat.
You sat there like that.
I am bored of this place. I wish you strike out on my own.
It's like when they say a dog is a man's best friend, and I always think that's a bit presumptuous, because the dog would be like, well, yeah, we're friends, but we're not best friends. I mean, I once got off with your leg, but that doesn't count.
Talking of intelligence, though, this was researched by the University of Bristol.
That's right.
Yeah, and you're thinking, why? Why have they bothered to do that? They also found out, apparently, if you own a cat, you're less likely to own a dog. Oh, well done, the University of Bristol. You're probably also less likely to own a pet mouse, be allergic to fur, or hate cats.
In other political news, whose human rights has David Cameron not been supporting this?
Burglars,
Burglars.
Can you believe it? He now says that burglars, when they enter your house, have no human rights, which is a bit of a flip-flop, wasn't it? Because he wanted us to hug a hoodie. He now wants us to clobber a robber.
Yes. The policy that he has...
And it's hilarious, isn't it? Like, what I love about, whenever there's any story about, like, sort of robbers coming into your house, how macho blokes go, I tell you what, they come into my house, I'll knock them out. I'll say this now, if any burglars arrive at mine, take the lot. I'll be under my bed weeping, that's what I'll do.
I think you shouldn't be allowed, fight a burglar in your house, but you should definitely be allowed do some weird sexual stuff to me. I will turn you out, burglar. You're going to feel like you're already in prison.
Why, by the way, is Mylene Class involved in all this?
Because she was there were people in her garden. There were intruders in her garden, and she waved a kitchen knife at them when she was cautioned by the police. Largely for waving the kitchen knife, but mostly for shouting,
OK.
This isn't just a kitchen knife. This is a cold steel, hardened Marks and Spencer's kitchen knife.
Actually, it should be pointed out, like, I mean, that is how the story was reported, but the police don't, have no record of ever giving out to her for, the term is brandishing a kitchen knife. You think, like, it wasn't as if, like, when she saw them, she went all ninja on their ass and started, like, daubing blood on their face at the window, slamming the glass against the patio, and then she turned off the lights.
Somebody's waving.
Wouldn't that be creepy if you were in Mylene Class's house and she cut her own phone line?
Suddenly, she flicks a switch and suddenly the walls are all in ultraviolet. You're in Mylene's house now. You're in Mylene's house now. And you're not leaving.
And there you hear the piano.
The piano. Really at the higher end of the piano.
If you see someone waving a knife out of a kitchen window, generally that means, would you like some cake?
Cake? It does where you live, man.
Good timing, Margaret. We're just serving up. Yeah.
Well, cake, it's lovely. It's a chocolate sponge.
To be honest, Hugh, you didn't grow up in certain areas of Bristol. That doesn't mean that at all.
Does it not?
Oi, mate, we dancing?
Chocolate sponge. It's just come out of the Arga. Lovely.
Where did you grow up? In a Just William book?
Yeah. Who's recently come out of hiding?
Tiger Woods.
Yes, indeed.
I'm not convinced of this whole idea of sex addiction clinics. All these
bollocks.
sex addicts going around other people who are also sex addicts. It'd be like going to Overeaters Anonymous and finding that everybody else in the class is in fact a cake.
I've got to be honest with you, it's unfair everyone's having a go at him. He's called Tiger. If you're called Tiger and you're not doing a bit of shagging, there's something wrong.
But apparently in the clinic, he's getting preferential treatment, isn't he? And all the other inmates, whatever they're called.
I'm not sure how strict it is, to be honest.
They're getting really annoyed at him, and it's just really upsetting for them because they can't even have a wank to calm down.
That's not why you have a wank, by the way. I'm going to have to live it down. Either that programme has offended me. I shall either write it out to the BBC or crack one off. I don't know which. How funny is that? What are the economic implications, by the way?
He's lost some sponsorship. Accenture, they've said that they're not going to sponsor him anymore.
He's lost Gillette as well, hasn't he? Because apparently razors aren't the best a man can get anymore. It's just it's a hot tub full of slag.
What's the other nominees for our Image of the Week? What's going on here?
That is the face of Jesus on the naan bread.
Yes,
or possibly a posing pouch for an evangelical Christian.
It is a weird Christian thing and a weird Catholic thing to see images of Christ with the Virgin Mary. I mean, for this one, for example, what's that in?
That's Jesus in someone's back. It looks like someone's been bruised.
It is a bruise. It's
a bruise?
Jesus in a bruise.
Is it really?
Someone got bruised.
That looks more like Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
It does, yeah, it is. That is a good call, man.
Young Einstein, darker hair, in a bruise. Yeah.
Maybe Jesus appeared at the curry, right? Because, they'd ordered some bread and then 4 lagers, and he was thinking, no, should have a glass of red wine to go with the bread. I'd better appear and tell them. I mean, some joke like that.
I've never seen something give up as elegantly as that. You know what I mean? Like, with some wine, some bread.
Basically, that was the IKEA of jokes. Here's the stuff. Let's
just lean it together, lean it off each other.
That goes there, that goes there. You don't need me.
Let's just hammer it together.
I'm going to
I
pretend...
have other guns for some
That's all
reason. I'm just tooled up this week
right.
with foam weaponry.
This is my own recreation of the Dam Busters.
Was ist das? Oh, de Wasser, de Wasser!
And now a special... No, sorry. That woman's laugh is amazing. Sorry.
It was a horrific crime. It was a horrific crime. A woman was attacked with a blowtorch. Wish it was you.
That's the highest a British rocket has ever gone.
I'll ask. These are other questions to the ones I've
Can I
already
just
had to
ask a
correct.
quick
No,
question?
you're already doing the thing, which is the reason we've had to do it again.
We're going to break you, Dara.
Oh,
We're gonna
I
break
broke
you.
about an hour and a half ago. I am floating above this, having an out-of-body experience. This thing. I could no more give a shit. My bladder is blocked up the fucking wazoo, right? Our first topic, please. Kevin, you're not in position.
I need some technical assistance as well. Can I just clip this back on?
That runs his arse. He can't sit down if his arse isn't working, can he? He'll fall through the chair.
That's on the belt, that's why it's difficult.
That's all right.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, but
mate.
that's going to be in
Thanks
the outtakes. Just you getting fingered by a man.
By a competition winner.
Really very emotional when Barack Obama got in, because I genuinely never thought I'd be able to say in my lifetime that the President of the United States is fit. You know,
Well, you banked Clinton. Come on.
Yeah, I would, but I mean, if there's money involved, of course I would.
What a weird moment on TV, me pimping out Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's like a meerkat. Hey, where?
If you like it, then you should have.
Yeah. Who wants to come in with that? Jack.
That was a bit. Can I do it without the hay? It was really weird. It was like a half hay, and I could have minced on as well. Can I just try a little bit more manly?
Okay, fine. Yeah.
I can't even get it in here.
Also not impressive. Really, you're.
Just let me get in the zone.
Yeah. Can you get into the zone? You get that butch vibe you've been rocking for a while now. Because I know a lot of women are going, that is a man who could father some kids for me right now. One last attempt because I'm running out of
Go on. Go.
Please, bro.
Slow. Yes, let's do it properly. Here we go.
Oh, fine. Okay, Grant. Yeah, okay. Sorry. You need to move faster, Milton. And then you walk there. I give you the points. And you walk back briskly at a good pace. Everyone's home. Nobody gets hurt. Life is good.
Iraq, Afghanistan, Zimbabwe. That was a badly planned cycling holiday.
You've gone too far now. Okay, here we go. The first subject tonight is unlikely things to hear at an awards ceremony.
Our next award is for most inaccurate weather forecast of the year. Let's look at the 9,000 nominees.
Welcome to the Islamic Awards for Acting, or as we call them, the Moscas.
Well, gosh, so many people to thank. Where to begin? Obvious one, I suppose. Hitler.
What? And the award for best envelope glue goes to...
Now, Teacher of the Year. Quieten down. It's your own time you're wasting.
Time now for us to celebrate some of the stars of show business who sadly are still with us.
I'll just open the envelope. Oh, it's full of gold.
And the award for special effects goes to the team behind Gordon Brown's smile.
And now we're going to watch a film showing some of the people that we've lost this year, including 2 you didn't even know were dead.
I'd bang that, I'd bang that, wouldn't bang that, I'd bang that. Anyway, the award for Best Actress goes to...
Welcome to the Accident at Work Awards.
And winner of the Suicide Bomber of the Year. I'm afraid they couldn't be with us tonight.
And the winner of the Best Scientist in Physics is... There's no ramp, Stephen Hawkins, it's not you.
Okay, the next topic is unlikely lines to hear in a Hollywood blockbuster.
Nemo, where the fuck have you been?
Look, Mr. Bond, do you want to hire the Ford Focus or not?
Mr. Vader, we are the Child Support Agency.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Welcome to the Fox News Channel.
Warning, this film contains Jennifer Aniston.
Spider-Man, look out! It's rolled up newspaper man!
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, where do you want to go, Hans?
E.T. got bone.
I've worked out what to do with Goldfinger. What we do is we put him in a big envelope marked Cash My Gold.
What do you think of my Fathers for Justice costume, Robin?
Cracking heroin, Gromit.
Look, I'm just an ex-Prime Minister standing before an Iraq inquiry, asking them to love him.
Oi! 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 Hermione! Cocos in Gorgio!
So this mission is impossible. Let's not bother.
Andy Dufresne. When he walked into Shawshank, I knew he was fucked.
Revenge will be mine, Mr. Bond, when we meet in small claims court.
Use the Force, Luke! And if that doesn't work, turn it off and turn it back on again.
One more. Everyone clap, Agent.
No.
Keep it rolling!
Who needs satire?
Welcome to a new series of Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Diane Morgan and Russell Howard, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Diane, which category would you like?
Environment.
OK, your category is environment. The answer is golf balls, tyres and rubbish. What is the question?
Is it the things that Fergie tried to pawn to pay her rent?
Is it what does John Terry put under his duvet to make his wife think that he's actually in bed?
Is it what is Heston Blumenthal going to make a pudding from next?
Is it what are this summer's additional toppings at Domino's?
What 3 are the gold, silver and bronze prizes at the Tramp Olympics?
Is it a description of the bouquet in Lidl's own wine?
I'm getting tyres. I'm getting tyres. Are they burning tyres? No, not yet.
What was in the worst Kinder Egg ever?
What would your topics of conversation be if your dinner guests were Tiger Woods, Lewis Hamilton and Uncle Bulgaria?
Is it what does Nick Clegg have new responsibility for in the new government?
Name 3 things Hugh Dennis hasn't done a voiceover for.
Let me just say this to you. Continental.
Is it what does Optimus Prime ejaculate?
Is it what do you find in the stomach of a Louisiana pelican?
Close enough, to be honest, yeah.
Is it
doing it wrong?
Is it what things have BP fired down that oil well in the Gulf of Mexico to stop it?
That's exactly right. Well done. Thank you very much. The question I was looking for was what items have BP officials used in an attempt to block the flow of oil from the damaged underwater pipe in the Gulf of Mexico? This is BP's attempt to combat the worst oil spill in American history, and the so-called junk shot is one of several methods that has failed to stop the leak. How is BP dealing with this?
They're doing badly, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of oil washing up on the shores of Louisiana. But I suppose, you know, it is a complete reversal of the normal state of affairs. This time, the oil is, in fact, invading America.
One of the first things that BP tried to do to shut it down was to put a top hat dome on it. You can tell the Tories are back in charge.
Top hat, I think, and if that doesn't work, then a deer stalker in the front of a Bentley.
It does smack of anything that's in a Monopoly set. The top hat first, then the small dog. The iron.
It's like they left all sorts of stuff down there. It wasn't just golf balls and tyres. I think they used human hair. Yep. It was human hair.
That would work, yes.
Soap. It was like the chairman of BP had looked into his bathroom basin and gone, well, that's pretty well clogged up. Why don't we give that again?
It's like they're reading from, like, an old wives' tale to try and fix it, isn't it?
Oil leak in the sea, use a tyre or 3.
Horrendous pollution, golf balls the solution. Pipe's got a hole, use a stale sausage roll.
Can't they just heat the oil up so that when it spews out into the ocean, it just instantly turns into batter? Then they can just snap it off and sell it to Scotland.
Simply just add vinegar, then you have a seafood salad.
And then you can mop it up with some delightful bread.
Yeah,
that's all you need. Just run some bread along the Louisiana coast to take the last of the oil, the delicious oil up. It does actually look like salad. Yeah, looks horrible, but also, delicious. Balsamic.
That's where Tesco's get their finest range.
It's ridiculous, though, because we have the technology to solve it. We should let Aggie and what's-her-face do it.
Yeah.
How clean is your ocean? And the thing is, it takes them no time at all. Everything I've seen them clean only takes them half an hour.
I'll tell you what would soak up the oil is lots and lots and lots of seabirds.
There was a piece on the BBC website about the golf balls and tyres, and it was just horrendous. They've released 40,000 this, and it's covered 2,000 square miles, and it's just horrendous, and Barack Obama's kicking ass. And then right at the very end it says, the first 2 oil birds rescued have been cleaned. It's not all all bad news. 2 birds are now slightly better than they were a week ago. And the best news is, we're due to be released back into the wild later today. There you go, fly away, not there! Oh, no!
But in America, they've really been blaming Obama, haven't they? They've just kind of go, he needs to fix it. And you're like, he's a president, he's not Jesus. Well, stand aside, everybody, I'll soak this up with my afro.
Obama got in trouble because he called it British Petroleum, right? Now, because the reason he said British Petroleum was it used to be British, right?
Yeah.
But then you're thinking, well, America, that used to be British. In which case, we can do what we like with it.
I love that Cameron phoned him up and told him off. Cameron told Obama off for saying British Petroleum. He said, you're making this a matter of national identity. Cameron basically played the race card with Obama. It takes a special kind of balls for an Eton and Oxford-educated white posh man to ring up the black president of America and go, you're being a racist.
How much would you love to have heard that phone call? Because he clearly didn't bollock Obama. He clearly, like, oh, I've got to call Barack Obama. It would have been like me, age 12, ringing up Jet from Gladiators. I'd have been like, I'm going to do it. You're really good with a bugle stick.
That must be a bad moment when Cameron comes home and sees the post-it on his fridge, ring Obama.
Yeah. And you know, it would have been like, you know, some white middle-class kid trying to score drugs. So like, hi, Obama. What's up? I'm just chillaxing, listening to Motown, that sort of shit. Can you stop dissing BP? And Mr. Obama, listen, Cameron, cut the bullshit. Fix it. I'ma kick your scrawny ass till Wednesday. Went pretty well.
But Cameron seems to be able to have a conversation with himself. Do we need higher taxes? Yes, we do. Are we going to have a free and fair debate about that? Yes, we are. Is this that debate? Yes, it is.
In other news, what's going on here?
This is the new Sugar Babes lineup. They're promising to be rocking.
Everyone can be in the Sugar Babes now, can't you? Are these claimed to?
That's a Labour leadership contest.
It is.
And that's Diane Abbott saying, OK, final guess, is that one Ed?
Oh, wouldn't that be great if Diane Abbott was going, Ed, Dave, they all look the same to me?
It looks like Diane saying, if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be and why? And that question goes to brother number 2.
Or is she saying, hey, doesn't he really look like Bert from Bert and Ernie in Sesame?
Or is she saying, no, I'm not the woman from the #1 detective agency?
Diane realises she's going to be the meat in a Miliband sandwich.
I'll be the first black woman to lead a British political party since Margaret Thatcher blacked up and went to the costume ball as Robert Mugabe. And then came back with most of his policies and enacted them.
It is nice to see the 2 Miliband brothers up there, though, isn't it? You know, they're saying that Ed is, in fact, the more normal of the 2 brothers, but that's a bit like saying that Reggie was the kinder of the Cray twins.
I did some quick research on the Milibands, and apparently they've both got over 100 legs.
I think they should get together. I think they should join forces, because a Miliband times a Miliband, that's a Billyband.
Well, Billyband works. Balls doesn't work.
No.
Balls is what...
Your balls don't work.
Balls. My balls do work. Ed Balls as a name. We've just recovered from, as comedians, from 8 years of a man called Bush in one political office. I mean, it just doesn't... It's just having Prime Minister Balls just, you know... I'm sorry.
But I think the Sun would love Balls to be the Prime Minister. They'd be loving the headlines they could come up with. Hitting the balls up, trying to photograph him in a large farm next to a massive rooster. You can see that massive cock and balls. They would absolutely adore it.
A massive rooster. They couldn't just bring the rooster closer. They couldn't just use a like perspective trick. Okay, no, just hold the rooster in your hand and put Ed Balls there. That'll work. That'll work. God, we have another one shot.
Also, just the idea of this crazy scientist make the rooster bigger, then we make the call. We make
I do think, like, Ed shouldn't worry if David does get the leadership, because, you know, after a few months, his mum will go, "Oh, David, give Ed a go, don't be mean."
But also, you couldn't really run against your brother and not... Like, if you were losing, you'd pull out a family secret, wouldn't you? Straight away, like, yeah, well, at least I didn't shit myself at Wookiee Hole.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Diane and Andy! Now we play a round called Mocked Out in the quarterfinals as usual. This game involves Milton, Andy and Diane, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. The first subject is the coalition government. Any persons?
Yes. So they told us to vote, we voted, and we now have a government that absolutely none of us, in fact, voted for. Yes, we managed to get rid of brown, but we now have some mixture of blue and yellow, so it appears we've got brown all over again. And you may have seen we had Richard Littlejohn in the Daily Mail describing the new coalition as like the film Brokeback Mountain because it involved two men working closely together. I would like to describe Richard Littlejohn as like the film The Shining. A dangerous psychopath sat at a typewriter, going demented, typing the same crap over and over again.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is accents. Who wants to come in on that? Diane.
Apparently, they're going to start using more regional accents on things like computers and answer machines, you know, because people are getting bored with the usual American or posh-sounding voices on things, and they want some alternatives. And I was trying to think what else you could have, and then I thought, imagine someone's trying to force the door on one of those talking cars, and instead of it going, "Stop, move away from the car, this car is alarmed," instead of that, you get, "Oi, get off, you'll break it." I think they should get an old woman to do the tube stops on the London Underground. "This is Collie Edgewood. I'm 87. This is Hanger Lane. I used to have a friend who lived in Hanger Lane. She's dead now."
Thank you very much, Jack. And that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what subject. Let's spin the wheel. The subject is family.
One of my earliest memories is seeing my mother's face through the oven window. As we played hide and seek, and she said, "You're getting warmer." My auntie Jean got a sister called Jean. Her daughter Jean just had a baby, called it Jean. They went to a nightclub to celebrate. They got to the door and the bouncer said, "Sorry." You're all wearing trainers. My grandfather, Jean, always complaining about how much things cost.
£1.50 for a cup of tea, £2.25 for 3 custard creams.
I said, "Look, Grandad, you just popped round. I didn't invite you." My other grandfather, he was always going on about how in the old days people could leave their back doors open, which is probably why his submarine sank. My other grandfather, When he died, we didn't even get the chance to say goodbye, which was all the more poignant because he drowned in a bowl of Cheerios.
At the end of that round, the points go to Mick and Jones. The next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of the England football team before their first World Cup match. What does EDOG stand for?
It's actually all the things keeping Ledley King together. Elastic bands, duct tape, oil and glue.
Should it be read in a German accent? And is it actually England dreadful? Oh, goody.
Are they all looking at Peter Crouch going, either dinosaur or giraffe?
Is it what they're thinking about John Terry? He's doing our girlfriends.
It's actually, I know what it is what Phil Neville's doing during the World Cup. Eating donuts off Gary.
Is it actually it's just the word edog, which is the way that Wayne Rooney says hedgehog?
That's all.
Is it 11 dodgy, overpaid geezers?
Is it a Sun headline? England done 1 goal.
And why is Wayne Rooney pooing a foot?
Have they got the number of times they've been unfaithful on the front of their shirts?
Is it England's draw opening game?
It is indeed. Well done, Chris Addison. Congratulations. The answer I was looking for was England draw opening game. England made a stuttering start to the World Cup in South Africa. They drew their opening game with the USA after a massive goalkeeping error by Robert Green. Do we all enjoy it?
Well, you have to feel sorry.
You said it was too loud in Irish accent. Do we all enjoy it?
Yeah, but you have to feel sorry for Robert Green. Apparently he went into the dressing room and put his head in his hands and dropped it.
Do you know, they made Robert Green do a random drug test.
Yeah.
What were they expecting to find? Night nurse.
In the paper, they said brilliant, and they said he would bounce back. But that's what he tried, and he still couldn't keep it.
I did see that John Terry said that everybody should get behind Robert Green.
Yeah.
And I think that's a brilliant idea.
You feel so sorry for them. You see all these sort of blokes go, oh, I could have saved that. Oh, no, you could. Look how fat you are. You look like a potato in a shell suit, mate. You couldn't have stopped her. Well, I could have saved that. She's in a home. She thinks she's a pineapple.
Every international tournament, you, and I obviously have to say, you know, because I'm not English, you do this thing where you go, oh my God, we're the greatest, we're the greatest, we're the greatest, we're the greatest, oh my God, we're the greatest. You're like X Factor parents, pushing a slightly not good at singing child into the audition, going, go on, sing your song. You're just as good as the Brazilians, sing your song, and then the child goes, la, and then, bam, it gets kicked out, and then you go, you're shite, you're the worst singer, you're the worst child we've ever had.
But Dara, as I understand it, this poor guy, Robson Green, is it?
Yes.
Robson Green, who I don't know why anybody thought he'd be able to... He can't hold a note, let alone...
It was an ITV deal. He was on some sort of thing.
It
Yeah.
is. It's Ross Kemp next week.
It is, yeah. However, did you see it?
Did I see the goal?
Did you see the goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't see the goal.
That's fantastic.
Because we were watching it on ITV High Definition. And ITV High Definition very deftly cut to a Hyundai commercial.
Let's be honest.
When I found that out, I instantly ordered an HD TV.
Who knew that was a function? Who knew that HD came with pain relief? That you could program
Why on
enough to
earth
show?
would you be watching it on ITV High Definition? A football game that features Wayne Rooney presented by Adrian Chiles. You would in fact be like going to Specsavers if you lived with the Elephant Man.
But actually, it's not that... I have one telly that does it, right? Yeah. And I have a smaller telly which is nearer the fridge. I haven't turned on the high-def one yet, right? Because, you know, it's like, beer or a bit of a walk to beer. And the pictures aren't that better. They're just slightly clearer.
Have you thought about putting a television in the fridge?
Yes.
So when you open the door...
How cool would that be?
Well, it would be...
I was delighted, though, because most people who own... You exception, Dara, but most people who own HD telly are just bores. You know, it's amazing, high def, can see everything, man, can see everything. The only way it could have been better for me, instead of the Hyundai advert, it's just that bloke going, go compare. And you just had people there going, whoa.
Do you know what I mean better? If it was an ad for HD telly.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying this picture crystal clear? Get off the screen!
The best thing, as far as I'm concerned, the best thing about the TV coverage so far is watching Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer try and figure out what Emmanuel Adebayor is saying. Isn't it? It's plus because they're don't just concentrate. Try not to look racist. Understand a word you're saying, Emmanuel. Nod it.
But the South Africans, they really love their football. I mean, they've got a bishop whose surname is a football score.
That's a cracking joke. Lovely little joke. He's mad as rat shit as well, Desmond Tutu. Did you see him?
Yeah.
Proper bonkers.
I bet you I know half his PIN number.
Twice. But did you see him for the World Cup concert? It was absolutely beautiful. Desmond Tutu came out, wake me up! I'm dreaming. I gotta be dreaming. Everyone's here. Yeah. France, Germany, everyone.
It's slightly irritating, though, because their big claim in South Africa is that they are the rainbow nation, right? Yeah. Where's Zippy? Where's Bungle? Well, I've seen them anywhere. They're just using...
I think if Bungle was playing in goal for England... Yeah, all right, back off. How is the World Cup helping this country here, then?
It's the economy. We're spending loads on flags.
Yes, you are.
Lovely flags either side of a car, which does have the added advantage that when they've got them there's a little gap where you can get a coat hanger in to break into the car. The trouble is, the cars that normally have got flags on them, the most valuable thing in the car is, in fact, the flag.
It's so awkward, though, isn't it?
Because there are a lot of people, you can tell people who don't understand football or don't watch football, because they are the people who, when the cars go past with the flags on, they don't understand what it's about. And you can see them standing at the side of the road just sort of going... An awful lot of very unlikely people seem to have been elected mayor.
It's also, Anne Summers have reported that sales of sexy female ref kits have gone through the roof. And you're like, who in their right mind wants their girlfriend to dress up as a ref? Talk dirty, yellow card. How should we do it? Anal, red, straight red, get out, get out. How dare you?
At the end of that round, the points go to Chris Hugh and Milton. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is commercials that never aired.
Our website shows the complete range of pubic wigs. Compare the Merkin.com.
Want to dress like you've got no GCSEs? Come on down to JJB!
This ad may be thoroughly misleading. The product may not work and it may burn your face off.
Carlsberg don't do liver transplants. But if they did...
Fed up with your dull, grey hair? Get used to it. You're a squirrel.
The Daily Star, because it's cheaper than toilet paper.
Have you been injured in a trip or fall? Would you like to be injured in a trip or fall? Or Barry?
Incest. Just do it.
Marmite. You either love it, or you hate it, or you think it's OK, but you'd rather have marmalade.
I'm a rabbit, and they test makeup on me. But I don't mind, because I'm a bit of a slag.
Burger King, because you can't taste anything when you're pissed.
Have you got long, dry hair? Could we stuff it down an oil well?
Oi, Churchill! Have you been rubbing your arse on the carpet again?
Hello, I'm Carol Vorderman, and this is my grandmother. Yes, I will literally sell anything.
I used to drink Strongbow cider with my mate Dave, but he was killed by an arrow.
It's Christmas every day with new Brussels sprout-flavoured condoms. Tastes like Grandma's ankles.
Do you want your erectile dysfunction dealt with confidentially and sympathetically? Call floppywilly.com.
Okay, the next topic is things you don't want to hear in hospital.
I'm afraid it's the big C. It fell off the sign at Curry's and hit your wife on the head.
Whose penis is this?
Come on, push! Push! We've got no staff and the bed needs moving!
So, just checking your notes here. You're Mrs. A. Oh, I'm sorry. You've got MRSA.
You have acute angina, and your tits aren't bad either.
And if you don't want to know the results of your tests, look away now.
I'll tell you something funny about Dr. Thomas. In his handwriting, the words tonsils and genitals look exactly the same.
We're going to put you to sleep now because you're old and it's the kindest thing to do.
So, talk me through it again, Mrs. Hopkins. You were having Sunday dinner. You said to your husband, will you carve? And he just lay down on the floor and gave birth to a baby cow.
Of course it's upsetting, but, you know, Hitler only had one ball, and look how well he did.
This is Hospital Radio. I'm Chris Moyles, and I'll be with you for the next 14 hours.
Accept this sacrifice, almighty Satan!
I don't like the look of the charts, Mr. Wilkins. Dizzy rascal at number 1.
How many fingers? That's right, 2. Fuck off.
Well done, very good. We're in that round. The points go to Russell, Diane and Andy. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Diane Morgan and Russell Howard. Commiseration to Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Chris Addison. Thank you for watching. I'm Darrell Breen. Good night.
Comedy, football, all rolled together. Catch the World Cup comedy collection on the new BBC Comedy website, or flick to BBC 3 for Lee Nelson's Well Good Show, Quality. And later here on BBC 2, some storming games in the World Cup. It's Match of the Day at 11:20.
We think we're about to pass Top Gear.
Look, 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 look!